Alright, we're going to extend upon our awesome knowledge from the last lesson where we dealt with angles that were in the first quadrant. We're going to be going into the second, third, and fourth quadrant. So we're going to be going into the great beyond of trig. It's going to be awesome. Let's remember our 45/45/90 is 1 root 2, and our 30/60/90 is 1 root 3, 2, and that root 3 being across from the 60, the 2 across from the 90, and that 1 across from the 30. So those are important to remember. But now, being that we're going to be in different quadrants, sometimes the signs might become negative, or negative here, or negative here, or negative here. Your hypotenuse is always going to remain positive. Keep that in mind. The hypotenuse will be positive, just like we had in the other problems last week. Okay? So let's say we want to do the cosine of 120. Well, if I draw that, 120 ends up right about here. Well, if I drop down my altitude and make myself a reference angle, that angle right in there is going to be 60. 180 minus 120 gives me 60. That's my reference angle right in there. Okay? So 60 is going to have a root 3 across from it. We're going to have a 1 here and a 2 here. However, keep in mind, this right here is moving to the left on the x-axis, so we actually have a negative 1. Now I need to find the cosine of that angle. So the cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, negative 1 over 2. There's my final answer. Really not much different than the last lesson. We're just going to be ending up in different quadrants, which means certain sides could possibly be negative. All right, let's try some sine of 240. Okay, well, I have to think about where 240 is going to be on my xy coordinate plane. Well, this right here, if I go from all the way to here, is 180. Continue on another 60 degrees, I get to 240. Drop this down, my reference angle is 60 degrees. So I have root 3 here. I have 1 here and I have 2 here. However, it's going down, so that's negative. It's going to the left, so that's negative. So 1, root 3, 2 triangle, but the 2 of them are negative because of the direction they're going, to the left and down. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, which means I have negative root 3 over positive 2. Dunzo. How about the tangent of 315? Remember, pause the video and try it if you're feeling like you got a handle on this. Tangent of 315. Well, 315 is going to land me over here in the fourth quadrant. My reference angle will be 45 degrees. So it's a 1, 1, root 2. Now let's make sure that that is negative right there. So I have a negative 1 because it's going down. Yelling timber. Tangent is opposite over hypotenuse, so opposite is negative 1 over adjacent. Sorry, did I say opposite over hypotenuse? Opposite over adjacent. So negative 1 over 1, which gives me negative 1 for my value. Sweet. We can also do this for negative angles. Let's say I have the cosine of negative 135. Well, my negative angle, I just start by going down at first. So negative 135 lands me over here. Dropping my altitude, well, that would be a reference angle of 45 degrees. Remember, a negative angle just means you're going the opposite direction. You're starting by going down rather than by going up. Well, that's 45. This is 1. That's 1. Remember, these are both negative because they're going down and to the left. So cosine adjacent over hypotenuse. Uh-oh. I need to rationalize. So root 2 over root 2. Negative 1 root 2 over 2 would be my final answer. Awesome. Awesome. Let's do one last example and say we have the secant of, how about 210? So let's draw it in. 210 whips you all the way around here. First you whip, then you nay-nay. Oh, Mr. Otachankle's coming on in. So my reference angle is 30 degrees. Oh, it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So I get 1 here, 2 right here, root 3 over here. Now remember, that's got to be negative and that's got to be negative because it's going to the left and it's going down. Secant.
It's in the third quadrant.
Woo!
That's negative.
Woo! Choshikao, sha, being hypotenuse over adjacent, semi-hypotenuse is 2. Adjacent is negative root 3. Oh, yes! Yes! I get to rationalize. So I get 2 root 3 over 3. Don't forget that negative out in front. Bibbidi bop, just don't stop.